One of the seldom seen aspects of Polk County that is a real need here is homelessness. And it's easy for us to kind of turn an eye, turn our heads and pretend that it's not an issue. But the truth is that it is a problem. And one of the things that we really need to consider are the families that are affected, those who have kids who are also suffering from homelessness or near homelessness. And there's a lot of different opportunities to get involved, and a terrific way to do that is through an event that's coming up called Fill a Bag to Fill a Bucket. And here to talk to us about this great event and the work going on with the homeless in Polk County is Cassie Jacoby. She is with the Florida Public Relations Association. We also have Dee Dee Wright. She is the homeless liaison with the Polk County School District. And also with us is Paula Alford. She is the homeless liaison for the Lake Wales Charter Schools. Ladies, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you.
Now, just kind of a quick, rundown. What is, Dee Dee, what is the homeless liaison for the Polk County Schools? What is that program about?
Okay. Well, first of all, there's federal law that protects the educational rights of a homeless student, and it also defines what a homeless student is or who a homeless student is. So I think it's important for everybody to understand that a homeless student is a student who lacks a fixed, regular, adequate nighttime residence. So it includes our students who are living in their cars, in tents, in streets, abandoned buildings. It also includes the families and students who are having to live in shelters, whether it's a transitional shelter or emergency shelter. And it also includes the families that are having to live with other family members or friends out of economic need or loss of housing. Mm-hmm. And that's considered doubled up. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that we have a good portion of our homeless population that are staying with family and friends, but it's not always the best environment either. And then the federal definition back in 2001 was also expanded to include families that are living in substandard housing where there's code violations, and also the budget motels and hotels, once again because they've lost their housing and they have nowhere else to go.
Oh, wow. Now, with the liaison program, and of course mandated by the government, how do you identify, how do you go about identifying these families and the students that don't have that permanent residency?
Well, we both work very closely with our school, all of the schools within our districts, and so we have contacts at each school that helps us to identify the students. A lot of times it may be the enrolling person or the guidance counselor or somebody who the student or the family may go share their information with. But we also work with our shelters that are in our communities as well. And it's just getting the name out. The federal law requires us to post posters that have our contact information at laundromats, at food banks, anywhere that families would receive services so that they can be able to get in contact with us. So a lot of times it's through the families themselves referring.
Okay. Now, Paula, obviously you work with a little bit of a different sector with the Lake Wales Charter Schools. Now, how does that differ from the Polk County schools? We were talking a little bit earlier. It's a little bit different, even though you work together a lot. How does the Lake Wales Charter Schools actually work?
We do all the same things as far as identification of homeless students that they would do within Polk County School Board. We do have student residency forms that we implemented this past year. And we have noticed with those forms being implemented that we have increased our number.
So even though the Lake Wales charter schools are not necessarily part of the Polk County School District, you still assess and deliver services very similar to the school district?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Cassie, you're involved with the Florida Public Relations Association, and of course they're very, they spread their services out very broad. Tell us a little bit about what your organization is and how they work with the community.
Well, the Polk County FPRA chapter is named after a famous person who started Cypress Gardens, Dick Pope. And we are so proud and honored to be working with both the homeless liaisons for Polk County. It's something that these guys deal with every day, seeing the homeless and the at risk of being homeless. But we wanted to find a way, all the greatest PR people in the county, and I'm honored to be part of this group. I'm not saying I'm the greatest, but they are some real great ones, and they really do things professionally. And we wanted to find a way that we could get the whole county, all the residents involved in helping these homeless students. And what we came up with was the fill a bag with personal hygiene products, because these kids, can you imagine, they're dealing with some pretty heavy stuff, and so they don't always have a chance to get new personal products like shampoo and toothpaste and toothbrushes and combs and brushes. And so we came up with a way that we could ask all the community, if there's a buy one get one going on at the grocery store, can you buy a couple and then donate one to our homeless students? And then we'll put them in bags. You don't have to do the Ziploc bags. We will get those. The fire rescue for the county has donated bags, and also 30 locations all around the county. So they're making it real convenient. You can drop it off at your fire rescue county office, not the fire department, but the fire rescue offices. And also then one of our wonderful banks in the community has stepped up to the plate. BB&T has agreed to be the donation locations. 18 branches in Polk and Osceola counties. You can drop them off through the drive-in. We're going to hand out flyers. Thank you, Hughes Corporate Printing, for printing 5,000 flyers for free, and also making them available so that we can, BB&T will hand them out at all the banks and also at the drive-thrus to really market this. So we're going to try to get as many products donated as we can by the end of May, so that the kids, when they go off for their summer breaks, they'll have new shampoo and toothbrushes and stuff, because they do. I know our homeless liaisons can tell us what happens during the summer when the kids are out of school.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine that's probably even a bigger issue, because there's a lot of services that are provided within the school that then over the summer these kids aren't receiving. How does a drive like this help last throughout the summer? I mean, a pretty big impact, I'm sure.
Yes, well, and what we'll do is anytime we know of a student who needs the hygiene pack, and that's the reason why we like to have them in the nice convenient Ziploc bags, so that we can just drop them into their backpacks and they can take them with them, is anytime a student ever says that they need one, or we find out that they need a hygiene pack, then we definitely will provide that to them. I know that for Polk County, we have already provided over 1,600 students have received hygiene packs, and several of those have probably received a couple of hygiene packs, just because the hygiene packs isn't going to last you all school year. Right. And so what we'll do is make sure that they have everything that they need, and have an additional hygiene pack if they need that for the summer.
As we sit here and we talk about a fundraiser, and we, and obviously there's no homeless kids here as we're talking, and it's hard to, sometimes it's hard to really drive it home what it means to these kids to be able to receive something as simple as the things, and I'm sure that you guys have run into some of these situations where, kids it's made such an impact on kids.
Well, we had a student this year, it was a little boy, that we had given him a book bag it was a brand new book bag, brand new school supplies, brand new uniforms, and a hygiene pack, and a couple of books in there. And so he was so excited about his book bag, and he was digging through and looking, and all of a sudden he pulls out and he goes, "Ah, my very own toothbrush."
Oh my.
And so that to us just once again reinforces that we may think it's nothing to us because we're very used to it and we know this is a necessity, you go out and get it, but for families who can't, and it means all the difference in the world to them, because sometimes they have to choose between the hygiene items and between food, and so their choice is going to be food. So it makes a huge difference to our kids to be able to have the same items and the name brand stuff as anybody else does.
We take so many things for granted here, and it's easy for us to look at the commercials of overseas third world countries, and our hearts go out to them, but the truth is we have children that are suffering just as badly in our own backyards.
2,600 have been identified between the Lake Wales charters and the district. 2,400 in the district and about 200. And Paula, you've got that program the churches have stepped up and to give them a little something extra on the weekends.
We have a backpack program that we do on the weekends. not all of those students are considered homeless students, and we're fortunate that our local churches have stepped up and they send food home every Friday. And we start the cycle every week, but we'll have children that maybe they were out on Friday, they'll come in on Monday to the school clinic and they'll want to know, is my backpack here? So you know that the food, the things that we take for granted, deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrushes, peanut butter, jelly, crackers, they're really needed.
How does, talking about some of the coalitions that you have, obviously some of the community organizations, you mentioned BB&T stepping up, the printers, printing these flyers for you, churches getting involved. How important is it for community agencies and organizations to really partner up with the school district, the Lake Wales charter schools, to reach out and reach these students? Because honestly, I really don't see any better way than the way that you guys are doing it to identify homeless children or near homeless children that are in need of this stuff. How important is it for an organization to jump in and team up?
It's very important. I mean, we expect the children to be in school, sitting in their desks, ready for academic time, but they may be hungry, they may not have had baths the day before. And for the community agencies or churches, organizations to help us, I mean, we can't do the things that we do to provide for those families and those children without the support from others.
I came across a cartoon that I like to share sometimes, and it shows a picture of a little kid, and he's got luggage, and there's 3 different big luggages, and one of them says homeless, one of them says sickness, and one of them says, I can't remember what the other one is right now, and it says, excuse me, can you please help me? I'm late to my math class. And so it talks about how, and that just exemplifies to me how we have students that bring a lot of luggage. I don't like to call it baggage, but a lot of luggage to school with them that sometimes a hygiene pack or a food item on the weekend or something can make a difference for them to get to their math class and perform. And of course with us, we're federally funded programs, we have limitations on what we can use our funds for. So that's why it's so important for the community to step up and to help so that we can make that little bit of a difference, which makes a big difference to the kids.
And how do they get in touch with either the public relations or the liaisons in the school districts? How do they get in touch with you guys to get involved?
Well, we would love to put out our phone number and everything, but most people are going on the websites too.
Okay.
And so our FPRA Polk, POLK.org. We have all the donation locations listed. If you can't find a convenient BB&T bank or a fire rescue station, also ACT in Bartow is a drop-off location, as is Webster's University's Lakeland campus.
Now, getting involved, how long time do people have to get this stuff in and get it to you guys?
Well, since I've learned so much dealing with these women and the homeless liaisons, we know it's an all-year project. The need never goes away. Right. So we were doing it, the FPRA was doing it just for the holidays. It kind of gets lost in the shuffle. There's so many needs during the holidays. So we wanted to do this one until the end of May. Then our Florida Public Relations members will have a stuffing party where we're going to stuff them all in the bags. Fire Rescue has donated some nice bags, Ziploc bags with fire rescue messages on them. So we put these in, and we identify them for boys and girls too, because they were telling me sometimes the girls like a little, ponytail thing and pink.
Some scented shampoo.
Yeah, there you go. And sometimes the guys like the ones that say, for men.
Oh. And you don't want to give a man a Barbie toothbrush.
Right. So you
teenage boy doesn't want a Barbie toothbrush.
And there are some unmentionable things you could throw into, so sometimes the girls have some needs that are, let's get, real. These are homeless or at risk of homeless. So we're going to do it till the end of May right now, and then we'll have another push in the fall and for Christmas.
Terrific.
So we're going to keep going all year round, and their need never goes away. And while Dee Dee has really identified having new large size, regular size hygiene products, Paula said they'll take the little ones. You're out, going on going to a motel and you want to collect all these things and donate them. So there's anything is welcome. We'll take anything
Excellent.
We can get.
That's
And it's
terrific.
amazing how really inexpensive it is. I went to one of the dollar stores and spent $20 and got about 10 bags put together.
And the impact that's going to make,
It's huge.
When you talk about bang for your buck, making such a huge impact on these kids with such simple elements. What a terrific opportunity we have to really make a difference.
Might be a good idea to tell your kids about the young man who didn't have his own toothbrush, and maybe they want to donate some toothbrushes since a lot of people's kids are fortunate enough to have their own toothbrush. But that really hits home to me when I think of that. It just breaks my heart.
Absolutely.
And I just applaud the work that Dee Dee and Paula do, the homeless liaisons. Every day they're in the front trenches.
Absolutely.
Actually dealing with the homeless people, because you don't really know if you might have met a homeless person and just don't know it, because it's a self-esteem issue, and they deserve to have brand new hygiene products and be clean and come ready to learn at school.
Exactly.
Well, and when we did uniforms, I had a mother that sent in a thank you note to me to let me know that since we had given them a new book bag with new school supplies and new uniforms, that her son felt such a part of the school that he actually joined the band. So who knows where that took him, after he left middle school and everything else with what.
Such a confidence boost.
It was. It was just a huge confidence boost because he had new uniforms and new book bag with school supplies.
That's terrific. Well, this is going to be a great fundraiser, a great drive. And I commend you guys for doing such a terrific work in Polk County and reaching the need of these kids that, like I said, are missing some of the most basic elements that we take for granted.
And it wouldn't be successful if you weren't helping get the word out.
That's
So
right.
thank you.
Yes,
and now
thank
it's up
you.
to all our viewers to please give a little something extra to help the homeless students.
Well, thank you guys for coming on and talking about it, and we'll knock this thing out one bit at a time, right?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the Fill a Bag, Fill a Bucket hygiene drive, and it's being sponsored by the Florida Public Relations Association in conjunction with the homeless liaisons of the Polk County School Board and the Lake Wales Charter Schools, and such great help with coming from BB&T, the Polk County Fire Department, the printers that have done such a wonderful job. Now we thank everybody that is part of this, and we encourage you to take part. I'm reminded of a wise saying that says, "To whom much is given, much is required," and it is important as community members that we look out for our neighbors, that we look out for the people that are in our backyard. And this is a real need, and it should be one that touches your heart. It should be one that moves you to action. So I implore you to get involved with the Fill a Bag, Fill a Bucket hygiene drive for these kids. It's going to take place up until May 28th. Will be the end of the program, but it doesn't mean you have to stop helping. You can continue to get in touch with the liaisons. You can continue to keep in touch with the Florida Public Relations Association, as they'll be continuing to work with them. You can contact them at 863-206-6759 or their website, FPRA-Polk.org. Some of the things that you can include in these hygiene bags are shampoo and conditioner, bath soap, deodorant, combs, hairbrushes, washcloths, toothbrush, toothpaste, basically your run-of-the-mill, ordinary hygiene products. Let's fill these bags up and help these homeless children in Polk County.